What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Tonight, our continuing series of Death Note. Today, episodes 11 through 16. But before we get into all of that fun, Dave, Doug, how's it going, gentlemen?
Well, Keith, it is fan-freaking-tastic. You know, and I wish that was 100% true. I've had some crap that put me in a bad mood, but I'm not going to be in a bad mood to talk about Death Note tonight.
Nice.
There was a lot that happened in these episodes, and I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm jumping to the end like we always do. So let me ask you, Doug, how are you?
Well, Dave, let me tell you, I am outstanding. However, Keith, did you watch to episode 16?
15. Did I say 16?
You did. I was like,
did.
wait a minute. My math isn't mathing. I was sitting there like, wait a minute, 11?
Me, I'm talking too fast.
I'm waiting for you to like go off on an episode that Dave and I didn't watch. Oh, wait a minute.
Stop jumping ahead, Keith.
I may have jumped ahead to episode 25, so nah.
What's up?
It really is. I wouldn't be surprised if you had like jumped ahead a few episodes because it's a really addicting series. It's hard to stop because so many of these episodes end on a cliffhanger, and it's been real fun to watch. And boy, it's going by quicker than I thought.
And no joke, I finished episode 15, the last one we were watching for this week, on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up, I'm like, I can't watch ahead. I can't watch ahead. So I found other things to do. Like today, I watched the season finale of Kite Man, Hell Yeah, which was very entertaining. But it's hard. It really is. Knowing episode 16 is there, and I'm like, I can't do it. But I should. I want to.
Dave, Keith, Sierra, I cannot wait for this Sunday. We are streaming this Sunday, right?
Yeah. What's going on this Sunday?
We're going to be talking about episodes 16 through 20.
Oh.
Yeah. That's
Good
where
times.
it really kicks in high gear.
It hasn't kicked in high gear yet?
Yeah, really.
Well, hold on. Just refresh my memory. What did you guys just see?
11 through 15.
We just got introduced to Misa.
Oh,
well, we're not in that yet. We're still
No, we're not in that yet, but I was just answering her question.
okay.
So we can get into it. Sierra, welcome, and how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm outstanding.
Oh, I saw Alien today.
Right.
I saw the Romulus, Alien Romulus today.
What'd you think?
Oh, yeah?
That was a good time. I give it a 7.
I enjoyed it myself.
I still haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either.
Oh, what are you two doing? Unbelievable.
Well, what do you give it, Keith?
I think I gave it a 7-8.
Yeah. 7s.
It
Yeah.
it was really good. It kind of it borrowed a little bit from Alien and Aliens, but it paid homage to those movies. It didn't do it as well as those movies, but it was still entertaining.
I thought it was entertaining. I just thought that, thinking back on it, I don't think that the alien got enough, like the xenomorph got enough screen time, honestly. And I think the story, the plot was good.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
better than most. What?
I said I'm sure that'll come up in contract talks.
Well, and remember, that movie was originally being made for Hulu.
Yeah.
And they decided to release it to theaters. So I think the budget was, even though the budget was low, I didn't see like anything out there. But that might be why we didn't see the xenomorph as much as probably some of us wanted to.
Yeah. Otherwise, it was pretty good story. I understood why they needed to say, like, what was it? What was the line? Don't touch her, you B word. I understood where, I mean, I felt like that was shoehorned in there, but, you know, I get what they were doing. Overall plot, yeah. It was different. It was definitely different considering that they have no training whatsoever. You know, it just didn't hit for me like I felt like it was going to. Though.
Well, shoot, Dave. I think we're gonna have to go see it now.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good.
I
I'd
mean,
recommend.
I wanted to anyway.
Well,
I think. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was just going to ask, have you seen Alien and Aliens, Sierra?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. My dad didn't deprive me of that, but he deprived me of
Aliens.
Terminator.
What?
Yeah. And
No, I
Scarface.
didn't.
I
we-
assume you've
tried
seen
to,
Terminator by now, right?
Yeah, I just watched
Oh.
the first one. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's such a great horror movie.
It is. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Which
And
one?
then I'm watching Arnold Schwarzenegger's movies right now, which is like True Lies. I just saw that. That's a really good one. I really like that one.
Well, hey, if you do decide to continue down, the Terminator train, I know of this one YouTube channel. They watched all of them.
Yeah.
If you happen to find a link to that, could you put it in the chat or something?
Yeah.
What was it? Countdown to Armageddon?
No.
Countdown to
wait.
Judgment
what-
Day.
The road,
yeah,
road to the
timeline.
Judgment Day.
Yeah, timeline to Judgment Day. That was it.
Timeline to Judgment Day.
Yes,
But it was
the
road to
pipeline.
I
Judgment Day.
I heard the first 3 were good, but they didn't consider.
Whoever told you
Or-
3 was good lied to you.
Yeah, that
Like, no, he
three-
said no. He said it was nice. It was Paul, but he said that the third one nobody liked, but it was that one it was necessary for the franchise. It made sense, but nobody liked it. That's what I was told, but I don't know yet if it's good.
Well, watch it and decide for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those where it felt like they had filmed 2 different movies and just kind of slammed them together. Because it's a comedy in the first half, and then it's a depressing sci-fi Armageddon story in the last half. And it's like, what was it? It's total whiplash.
Maybe they combined the 3 and 4. The studio didn't think we'd
Well,
go past
Did
3.
you see, what is that? The one with Amelia Clark. What's that one? Salvation? That's not Salvation.
No, that's
Genesis.
Genesis, yeah.
Genesis.
But spelled weird.
Have
No.
you seen that, Sierra?
No.
That's got your girl and it's got Daenerys. She plays Sarah Connor in that one. I like that one. I know it wasn't a popular one, but I liked it.
It was
She
good.
plays Sarah Connor?
She
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Is it like farther back in time or something?
Well,
Well, I mean,
that's
it's
a
Terminator. What do you
tough
want?
question to answer. It's yes and no.
Let me
Is
get
it
that
a
Charlie Day
different, like,
board out. Where he's
timeline?
like,
Right, yeah, let's get the
Is it a different timeline, but
yes.
Oh, yeah.
farther back in time?
and forward.
No, it's the same timeline.
The why
No,
is
it's
she?
a different timeline.
Is this a different Sarah Connor? I'm just confused why she would look like Amelia.
Yes,
Clark.
she becomes a different Sarah Connor.
Wait, what? Is that serious?
Just watch it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. It doesn't make sense to try and explain it without spoiling it. You gotta see it. It's weird.
Okay, I'll work
And
on
then
it.
watch
I'm
the-
working on it.
The award-winning series Timeline to Judgment Day by some of your favorite nerds, and it'll all make sense. But
Okay.
to keep off the subject, did you know the Terminator anime, Terminator Zero anime, dropped on Netflix yesterday?
No, I didn't.
And
No.
I did see that.
it has gotten really good reviews.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that out.
I had
You know
no
what?
plans
Once
on
they got
watching it, and then I read some reviews, and I'm like, dang it, I have to add another show to my watch queue.
Once they got the writers back, the writers kind of went ham, didn't they?
They
We're
did.
starting to see that.
For
We're
those of
starting to
you-
see.
For those
what
of
it
you older in
costs.
our audience, that means hard as a. We'll just leave that last one blank. I know youthful vernacular. Did I shock you, Sierra?
I'm shooketh. Yes.
You're shook.
I'm
Yeah, but
shook.
you won't know it for long. You'll know it for like another 10 years, and then you'll be out of the loop.
And I just want to thank fellow nerd Doug. He subscribed at Tiered 1 for 26 months. We appreciate it, fellow nerd, and thank you.
Oh, by
We
the
all
way,
appreciate the support.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm out of the loop now.
You may
I don't
speak.
know. I don't know what gyat is.
That's
I don't know what
that's
it means.
that's a derriere, a rump.
How do you know what that means?
He's got a teenage
I don't
daughter,
know
that's
what
how
I
he
have a
knows.
16-year-old and an 8-year-old who speak a totally different language, and I have to ask every once in a while, please explain what that means.
Wait, do
Okay,
they?
what's a skibbity toilet?
Skibbity
What is
is
that?
it's like it's whack. Skibbity Ohio means it's whack. So if someone has if someone has Skibbity Ohio Riz is like charisma. So if they have Skibbity Ohio Riz, they have no charisma.
What the hell is happening?
See,
I don't like
when it
this.
stops making sense, then I don't like it. I can't be for it. No.
I
There's
don't
no
like
sense.
it.
Twitch,
It
turn on
sounds dumb.
translation.
Is this what it was like, Dad? Is this what it was
Yeah,
like
Sierra.
for you
Yes.
when we were talking about like Fleek and stuff?
yeah,
on-
like
Oh,
10
it's
years
not
ago,
bleak.
I was like, that doesn't make any sense, and now you're sounding like the old man. Like, yeah,
I-
kids too me.
It
That's
doesn't.
the shiznit.
But the stuff they're talking about is completely idiotic. It's brain dead, dude.
Yeah.
No. It's brain rot.
It's brain
That's
rot.
another word, yeah.
I would consider it that too. That's
Oh
a
man,
good
I am
word.
unalived.
It's funny because you know what I
Yeah.
ask
Oh
my
my
wife and
god,
Alice?
unalived.
They'll be talking, and I'm just like, "Is that good or bad?" Oh, it's good. Okay, good. I'm
Oh,
happy.
yeah.
No, it's
I
bad.
can't tell.
It's bad.
I think I could try to make it out. You know, if I really sat down and listened, I could be like, okay, I think that's a good thing. But no, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds very dumb.
Is abbreviating part of your generation, Steer?
Yeah.
Learn to oh,
Wait,
No.
say that again?
learn to abbreviate.
Learn to abbreviate.
Abbreviate.
Learn to
Abbreviate.
abbreviate. That's terrible.
Like that girl, she's so my type. My type.
I don't remember any of my age group ever saying anything like that, huh?
By the way,
You're
do you know why?
you're a millennial, right?
Yeah.
You're a millennial.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Wait, Keith was about to throw a free dad joke in there.
Second.
Do you? Oh, I'll wait till Sierra gets back.
I'm
Paul
Tur.
knows. Paul knows
He knows he's
millennials
Tur.
speak.
Do you guys know why
Okay.
girls always travel in odd numbers?
Why?
Why?
Because they can't even.
I can't even. Yes.
Uh,
Oh, that was good.
Shit
That
out
was
of-
good.
I'm sorry.
you know what
he's-
a pack of women are called?
What?
A gaggle.
A gaggle. Ha ha ha.
A
ha.
gaggle of women.
Oh,
I don't like
Fitting.
that.
I don't
You're
like
a
that either.
murderer of
Boo.
crows. It's like
So
I
Paul
didn't make it
knows.
up.
Paul knows the millennials speak.
I love
What?
his Bob's Burger shirt. By the
What?
way.
Right, what is it?
Yeah.
They love your Bob Burger.
Oh, thank you.
That's a Nuts on
Represent.
shirt.
Hey,
They don't. He was. Doug was saying that he does not know any language that you guys had like as millennials. You
No, I said I
speak,
don't
like,
remember anybody
beyond
saying,
complete-
like the whole
That's
agree.
not what
thing.
millennials say.
What did millennial? No, I'm saying what did millennials say?
like gag me with a spoon. That was something that my generation said.
Yeah.
Here,
get in.
What?
she's,
What is stuff that we said?
Okay, fine, for sure.
Did you guys have that?
You know, Dweezil Zappa was in town here last week.
Dweezil was?
He can't
Yeah.
think.
Did he play that
He
song
can't
with
seem to
Don
think of-
Johnson, Heartbeat?
Well, I did not go, but I'll have to find somebody.
You knew he was in town.
Oh.
You didn't go?
I know what's wrong with me.
Like,
You know, okay, I got you, Sierra, I got you.
term of endearment.
Look up any of like look up like old YouTube, any YouTube videos from like 2009 around
Like
that
Urban
era.
Dictionary.
The most cringy videos that you can find, That's all like millennial speak.
Like,
I remember me and my friends, we would watch that Potter Puppet Pals all the time.
Harry Potter Puppet Pals.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, or like
that
the
crap and
Is that the one where they had the song where it was like,
let's get some shoes.
Snape.
Oh my God, shoes.
Severus Snape.
Yeah.
Dumbledore?
Yeah. What?
Ron
What was that, Dad?
Weasley.
Are these yours?
Yeah, they're probably mine.
Anyway, we should get back on topic. I mean, what are we doing?
Wait, what was the top? Oh yeah, Terminator. So the anime came out, and it's called Terminator Zero.
It is an anime?
Yeah.
Yes, it's on Netflix.
Nice. Okay, I'm checking it out for sure.
Because I've been watching Death Note, it was the first thing that popped up in my feed.
So yeah,
we're
Death Note.
talking
So
aliens.
So yeah,
Oh.
back to Death Note.
Wait, I want to say something about aliens. I think they should go off the source material. If they're going to make another alien movie or even another Predator movie, they should make it where it's how the Predators and the aliens met, like how they know each other. Because in the comics, the
They did
story's
that. Called
pretty
Alien
awesome.
versus Predators.
Yeah, Alien
No,
versus
yeah, but
Predator.
that was versus, not how they
That's how they met. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
the
no,
Predators
no.
created the aliens.
in the comics.
not if you've watched
Yeah.
Prometheus.
Oh,
Yeah, not if you watch, but that's not canon anymore.
They
But I
discount
do
that,
mean,
yeah.
It
like-
wasn't canon.
I thought
did.
I thought
I
that
decided
was an
it
official
just now.
statement
It's
that
fodder.
it wasn't canon.
Now, I think if you watched Alien Romulus, you might see some things in there that would suggest Prometheus is still canon.
Was Michael Fassbender there?
He was not.
Oh, well then I wouldn't know.
There was two
That's-
Michael Fat. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa! See her looking it up. She's like, I don't buy it. You know, from the side, you look like Daphne Keane.
Oh, thanks. I didn't think I did, but you know,
Oh, okay. The for the cinematic universe it is, yeah. But there's a comic books about Predator, where they show a little bit more into Predator and aliens history and how far back it goes and stuff like that. That's what I was talking about. I think they should make a movie out of. But now knowing that Prometheus is officially canon, and I didn't notice anything that ties to Prometheus and Romulus, but I also didn't look that hard. So please enlighten me. But now that I know that the cinematic universe is leading towards Prometheus, now I will probably never get that. We'll probably never.
well, you could still have a predator and aliens fighting. It's just not the predators created the alien.
Yeah.
The
Well, I don't
xenos.
so much want them fighting as much as their history, which would be.
I
cool.
thought their history is it's a romantic comedy, and he's called The Predator, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So he does a lot of research before he goes out with the Xenomorph.
nobody paid for a dad joke.
Can't give a dad joke for free, Dad.
Yeah, daddy.
Well, having my daughter on the show, I get
No.
one free one.
No. No, don't you ever again.
Just so you know, Kenny
Well,
Talks
now-
Footy is. He said, "You guys are about to enter a strange arc of the show, so good luck, LOL. Maybe strange is the wrong word. Your eyes will open in this next arc. There you are."
Oh yeah, it definitely
Oh, yeah.
will. Oh, okay. So, did your favorite characters change so far in the past couple episodes?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
next.
my
That's
favorite.
why I said it's
Yeah,
about to go down. It's about to go down.
it is.
But I really enjoyed.
I'm excited.
You know, the first episode we watched, we found out it was the tapes. I was so excited for it. I was like, I don't understand why Kira Light would send tapes. That seemed, and we found out why. And it was really interesting watching that episode. You know, with Elle figuring out one, oh, he doesn't need to see. Doesn't need to know their names anymore. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no. I'm like, you know, Light knows these people, so wait, how did he know they were there? And I was so like watching it, I was actually like, man, I'm getting lost here for a minute. And then they just did a great job just revealing it all. When he's like, I think there's a second Kira. And I'm like, oh, that that makes so much sense.
I like how he phrased it
Yeah.
when he was like, "This is a fake Kira. Actually, I think it's better if we call it a second Kira."
Yes. And then
The show does that a lot where it leads you into questions and then it answers
Mhm.
them shortly.
yes.
Like shortly after.
I think my favorite part about these episodes and also the ones that are about to come up is this is one of the few times where the investigation team actually does like real detective work and they add like forensics into the whole deal. Like the rest of the show, they're just like, I think that Kira is doing this, and this is why I think it's this person. And then, like in these next couple of episodes, it's like, yeah, we found this and this fingerprint and this hair, and we ran this through it. And it's like, oh, okay, you guys did actual police work for a minute, and then it's like, you're gonna keep doing that? No.
See,
No.
I enjoyed Misa so incredibly much, only in the sense that it threw such a curveball at Light. Like, Light had everything mapped out, everything so planned, and she was just absolute chaos. You know,
Yes,
like
yes, I
showing
love her
up
so
at his
much.
house and figuring out who he was. And oh my God,
Yeah.
I was like, I paused when that video was sent, and she's like, Shinigami, and I've got the eyes and stuff. And he was like
Hell
sweating.
freaked
I
out.
know.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, this is going to be bad for Light, who is so analytical and so purposeful with everything he does. And she just, whatever she feels like doing, she does. And I'm like, I didn't know, I've said this many times, I didn't know how they were going to be able to carry like this show for 37 episodes. But throwing in a curveball like this, I was like, oh, perfect. How perfect is that to see, you know, Light just being so incredibly uncomfortable, not knowing how to deal with the chaos, trying to, you know, reel in this person and everything. I was just, damn, that's fantastic. Yeah, and yes, Mike, Misa is much worse than Light. I totally agree with
Oh
you.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you guys know what's going to happen in the next arc or not yet? Dave and I do not know what's going to happen, but Doug and Sierra do. They've watched it already. Because I know he alludes to it at a certain point before doing it. And Doug says, I know. You paused when Misa was on screen. No, not when Misa was on screen. When she was talking about the Shinigami and having the eyes. I like paused it like, oh my God, I need a minute
Yeah.
to get through
To
all
take
this
it
because
in.
that is nuts.
Yeah.
That like went from, you know, two very analytical people, the Sherlock and Moriarty, to I don't even know what like Pauly Shore came into the room, and I'm just like, oh my God,
Hey, buddy.
she had no.
I'm
clue
just
how
so
much
excited
information-
for you guys. Go ahead.
Just how much information she was giving away, and it made Light so uncomfortable, and that made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, so
Um,
one of the things that I'm loving about these episodes is it's doing like I mean we've gotten like some pretty good, you know, like character arcs, development, they've given us some information, and it's been, you know, trickle here, trickle there as it's laying out the story. But these episodes was like a dump truck just pulled in and said, here is all the lore, and we're going to just give you all the information about all these characters. So now we find out even more about the Shinigami realm, even stuff that Ryuk didn't even know.
And how to
And then
kill
on
a
top of that, we
Shinigami.
find out that like Light is a little more would sociopathic be the right word? He's so detached from humanity that like he has no real interest in relationships and legitimate relationships with people.
Yeah, he's definitely a
He
sociopath.
just wants to create his new world and be a god.
Yep.
Does not care who he hurts anymore.
And
No.
then, okay, listen, Mike. I did not pause on the Shinigami. I paused when the recording was talking about it. Oh, and Kenny says episodes 10 to 25 are probably the best in the show. Well, I can see that
Yeah,
happening.
I'd agree.
Yeah, the first 10 were all set up, man.
They were still really good,
It-
but
Yeah.
it really did take this from something that was very entertaining it was like a chess match between these two guys, and it just keeps bumping things up. You know, like Doug said, we learned, you know, how to kill a Shinigami. And I don't know if that's going to come into play at some point, and I don't know how. Like, Light is going to figure out a way to use that. I mean, he uses everybody. The fact that he, you know, he does think he's smarter than everybody, and that's, you know, his ego is probably going to be his downfall at some point. But, you know, he just takes all this Misa just says everything that's in her head. She has diarrhea in the mouth, and just anything she knows, she's willing to tell him. And he's just putting this all in the back of his mind, like, okay, I need to be able to use this at a later date if I need to. And I'm going to figure this out. And like when Ren figures out what, like, he's like, if anything happens to her, I am writing your name in my death note right after it. Because he knew he's using her, or she. I think, is Rem a she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems that way.
Okay,
I don't know.
I think she.
I don't know if the Shinigami, if they ever mention any sort of specific genders, but I believe they insinuate
It's
that
like
Rem is a female.
Feminine leaning or masculine leaning, kind of. Yeah. I consider it a she. Me personally.
Yeah, I have to, just like to make it easier to talk about. You know, bony girl.
Yeah. Kenny makes a good point. He goes, if Light's a I don't know if Light's a sociopath. I'd say he's sociopathic, but a sociopath can't really be anti-villain with good intentions. And yes, that's
that's what I was saying. I wasn't entirely sure if that was the right, you know, phrase for him, because he does seem like he has in his mind these sort of, like we talked about in our last stream, these almost Thanos-like ideals where he seems to think that the world is sick and he's got a solution that only he can solve it. So he thinks what he's doing is like an ends justify the means. Like, he legitimately thinks that what he's doing is going to better the world in the long run, but he also thinks he's the only one that can do it, and that he can't have any real relationships, or maybe he doesn't want any real relationships with any people other than to use them to advance his own goals.
That, very much so. And, you know, Kenny said that Misa is a bit of an idiot. I don't think she's an idiot. I think she's naive.
No, I go back and forth on
naive.
that, because she does a few smart things every now and again. She's able to reason out things pretty well.
I think she wants people to think that she's dumb. I think she uses that as a tactic. As in, like, underestimate me.
I can see
think
that.
I'm stupid. Yeah.
Because even Light admits a couple of times, he's like, oh, she's smarter than I thought. Like when he reasons out the whole, like, the code that she had left and figures out exactly where he thinks she's going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, the blue note. Okay.
It's too bad we won't be able to explore that any further. If you know what I mean. With these animes the way they are, they develop the character, and then if you're not the main character, you got a 4 episode. Listen to me. Episode arc. Episode. You get a 4 episode arc, and then you're dead.
Well, not all animes are like that.
Yeah, lucky for you, we are going to see more of Misa.
I figured as much. You know,
I have a question.
I have several questions, but go ahead.
Go ahead with Keith. I didn't mean to interrupt. My brain's doing a thing. I'm sorry.
Now I forgot what I was going to say. It was.
Oh, now I feel terrible now.
We're talking about Misa and how she pretends to, or she maybe wants people to think she's dumb.
Yeah.
Well,
wait, hold on, wait. Go ahead.
I really enjoyed how they. Well, you can hold on to my death note, and that way, when she got picked up by the police, you know, they do a good job of writing it so there's no plot holes. Because if she would have still had that death note when Light, you know, had her arrested, that would have blown everything wide open. So the fact that she's like, oh, to trust me, you know, I'll give you the thing. I was like, that's awesome. Let's see. In the manga, Light actually has a panel where he starts to fall for Misa, but he can't because that's how most people screw up.
Yeah. So we said that in the last stream that they do leave a lot on the cutting room floor for the purposes of, I think, making the anime flow a little bit better.
Yeah.
They also, as you'll find out towards the end of it, they do change around a couple of things as well. But yeah, a lot of Light's development is kind of left out of the anime. It does make him seem, as as Mike put it, Light is just a menace. It does make him out to seem like way more of a menace and more psychotic than he is. Like he seems more
Yeah.
human in the manga.
Manga.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Thank you. I appreciate you agreeing with my enunciation. But, you know, when they were talking about, and I forget the Shinigami that fell for Misa, and he ended up killing
Jealous.
Stuck. Jealous?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, okay, that's really interesting, and it's almost out of character for Shinigami, I thought, at the time. But then we see Rem sort of has these same feelings for Misa, and I was like, okay, is it Misa? Is there something special, like, about Misa that we're going to find out? Because, I mean, most of us are lucky if one person, you know, loves us in our lifetime. But to have two Shinigami, I was like, interesting.
Yeah, no, they just think she's hot. No.
I think that's what they didn't explore too much. I'm not gonna go. I already shot the pooch with that one.
You've already
but
said too much.
I've already said too much. They don't explore too much into that, which is unfortunate. But for me, that kind of tells me that she's a lot. There's a reason that deities like that are falling for her, you know? So she's got to be a lot smarter than how she's putting off. She's got to have a certain charisma as well that
Riz?
she's not. She got to have a certain riz,
Riz.
certain amount of
She got
riz.
some riz,
Yep.
man. Can't be Podunk,
That's-
Ohio, or whatever you said.
Skibbity, Ohio. But we have officially put an end to that word since we have now used it.
I hate
Yes,
Thank
that word.
God.
all of Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they just had a meeting and they're like, can't do it, dog.
Can't do that one. Not that one.
Yep. You know, the fogies used it.
Oh, okay. So my question was, from this anime, from Cowboy Bebop to the last anime to this anime, how has your opinion fluctuated?
Oh, I already know the answer to this.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
What do you-
my
I
opinion
don't know. I'm not sure what you
about anime hasn't really changed, but I think I saw we went from Cowboy Bebop, which I thoroughly enjoyed, to
Yeah.
Uncle from Another Mother, Planet,
Yeah.
World.
Yeah, World.
World.
Where,
Uncle from
you know,
another world.
There's all types of anime, and I think we talked about that when we went through our whole, you know, anime for beginners stuff, when you and Doug were talking about all
Yeah.
the different types. So I know there's going to be anime I don't appreciate.
Oh, yeah.
And you just kind of
Yeah.
find the ones you like, you know, more of the Cowboy Bebops, more of the Death Notes, things like that I'll probably enjoy. Where the, you know, Uncle from Another World, probably not my cup of tea. But there might be ones like it that I do enjoy. You know, it's all that stuff is subjective. And I think, you know, prior to watching any anime, I thought it was all the same.
Yeah.
And I really am learning that it's as diverse as possible. You know, there's so much in it and so many different things that it incorporates that just makes me want to watch more.
Are you you're a little more inclined to trying new and different animes then?
100%.
What about you,
Yeah,
Dad?
definitely. I mean, with Bebop, to introduce me with Bebop, actually, I was introduced with the Akira movie, which I didn't think was too great. It was all right.
It was good.
But
You
again,
just have
different
bad
tastes
taste.
for different people, right?
No.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
different
he
taste.
has
I
bad
mean,
taste. That's what it is. It has to be.
it's objectively a good production. It just didn't ring all the bells. That's all for me. That's all. But I like Cowboy Bebop, and then the next one. So to me, which is the one Keith mentioned, Uncle from Another World.
World. Yeah.
To me, this show brought it back. So it's like down, up, down, up. I'm gonna need a few more winners, but I know these winners are really good winners. You know?
Yeah.
You know, if you think about it, it's a lot like everything else that we watch, right? Not all of the Star Wars shows are going to be winners. Not all of the Marvel movies are going to be winners.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Kenny
very
says,
Except for
Dirty.
Thor: Dark World, that's the greatest movie ever.
Oh yeah, that and
Only to
Iron
be
Man 3.
superseded by Morbius and Madam Web,
that's right.
and soon to be crowned by King Craven himself. I cannot wait. It's going to be amazing.
Didn't that come out
Now-
last week?
Yeah, we somehow missed it.
If I were to ask you to rate these animes compared to Marvel movies, right?
Oh, that would be tough.
How would you rate that? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Well, like comparing anime
Like
to
comparing the
Marvel movies?
quality of the story
Well,
from
I mean,
current
that's-
Marvel movies to like the good anime like Cowboy Bebop that you've seen.
It depends on which is up against the other one. I mean, they're all every
I don't
show
think I could
or every
even-
movie has
Just
its own
overall
unique story.
progress of Marvel, such as how they do their like their most recent movies, let's say.
Deadpool.
Like no, not Deadpool. I know you're gonna put Deadpool over any anime any day. I know the answer to that one. But
Well-
like Captain Marvel, or their pacing and their descriptions and how they like move along the main story and the characters
Yeah.
through the movies. Like, how would you compare that to anime? Do you like the pacing better with anime or the storytelling?
Are you talking about comparing a show to a movie?
Comparing a show to the way, like the
like the
pacing.
overall writing style.
Yeah.
Oh, am I frozen?
No,
No.
we heard you. The overall writing style. We heard you, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, now he's frozen.
See?
He wasn't, but
But now he is.
I mean, it's
Well-
kind of hard to really compare the writing style
There he is.
of like.
Oh my god.
You're back. I
Go
think,
ahead, Dave.
Dad.
No, I just said what happened. Go ahead, Keith. I'll let him tell you that.
Well, I was just, like we're talking what I think, in my limited knowledge of anime, is a top tier
Yeah.
anime. So comparing the writing of a top tier anime like Death Note to the Marvels, which while it was good, it was enjoyable, kind of. It was one of the. It was on the lower end of Marvel movies. Like if you compare Death Note to like Infinity War and some of the better ones, Death Note's still probably better. But once again, it's one of the best sounding animes out there. So I think when you get into other animes that aren't as written as well as this, it's hard to compare. I mean, I don't know if I can compare the writing styles, but I definitely enjoy like the way Cowboy Bebop was structured and the way Death Note is structured is my cup of tea. I like the pacing it goes. I like the way they structure it. Seems completely obvious to me that they had this whole thing written out before they started, filming it. Instead of, let's change some things, and then it messes it up the story down the line. It just seems like they have a good handle on what they want and how they want to tell it.
I think so too. I think so.
Yeah,
seems
I
more-
think the overall, in all of the anime that we've watched, even with the bad ones, I think they spend a little more time world developing and character development and plot development in the anime world than they do on the lesser Marvel movies. Like
yeah.
the better Marvel movies, they do spend time, and they can do it in ways that it doesn't take a lot of time to add depth to a character. I think the Russo brothers are really good at that, and I'm glad they're back for the next two Avengers movies. Some of those directors they have now are really good, and then whenever I hear they hired an unproven director, it always makes me cringe because I don't know. I don't know if they're going to spend the right amount of time.
Well, just remember the
back-
Russo brothers were known for directing sitcoms before they did
Yeah.
The Winter Soldier. So it always depends on
And they-
what they've done before.
And they still like Patty Jenkins, for example. What was her previous work before Wonder
Monster.
Woman? It was Monster, and then there was like one other movie.
There was something she
I
did a
think she did-
show. I think
Not sure.
Monster was the only movie. But I'm
Yeah,
not 100%
it was
sure
like-
about that.
It wasn't much, so
Right,
I
yeah.
was a little nervous. And then I saw the first Wonder Woman movie. I'm thinking,
And
all
it
right,
was
it's
good.
got a few. Yeah, she knows what she's doing. And then the next Wonder Woman came out, like, oh, see, now I don't know. With anime, at least you're gonna get a deep background on people. Even if they don't make it through the next episode, you're gonna know a thing or two about
They do a good job of
true.
creating well-rounded characters.
I
Yeah.
will say this about anime. So I'm not going to defend all of it because there is a lot of almost like not sitcom.
Poorly written,
Oh my God, what is the word I'm trying to think of? The trashy TV shows.
like reality TV shows,
No, no, no. Drama. Oh my God.
dramedies.
Sure, why not? There's a lot of like anime that they don't have any real plot. The characters are like thin deep, and there's like very little, budget put into the art. And there's a bunch of them. There's a ton of anime that are created like that where it's like you see just a trailer and you're like, "Oh, this is going to be terrible."
Yeah.
And there's a lot out there like that. So it's like a good even mix. That's why I don't think that I could compare all of anime against anything else because it's its own beast. That's why we had to create it. We had to create all these different subgenres because it's just so big. There's so much to it.
Yeah.
Like we're showing you Cowboy Bebop and Death Note, two of the best anime out there. And there's just a heaping, burning trash pile of shit anime that we're not going to show you.
Which we're doing next.
Yeah.
Right?
No, there's a lot of bad anime. I've honestly been having a little bit of a hard time finding an anime that I can get into right now, and it's bothering me.
I literally told you there's one called I Reincarnated as a Vending Machine. That is a real anime that I did not make up.
I know.
No.
I'm getting to it. Well, my thing was I was already watching The Goblin Slayer, and I thought it was really good in the first season.
Yeah, the
But
second season is rough. I didn't
second
finish it.
season is mostly fan service.
I don't know
very-
what they're doing in the second season. I didn't finish it. The first season was good though, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna finish it because I don't see anything good happening. I'm really disappointed in it right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, and then I
I
gotta
thought that
catch
was
up on
Shield
One
Hero
Piece.
too. Shield Hero I thought was great in the first season.
Oh yeah, I
The second
still
season
do
was
need-
rough, and then the third season is worse.
I need I need to watch that though.
Well, we got,
Also,
we got
the
some
original-
comments. Kenny says Death Note versus the Marvels, and he put a skull. I do believe that means he's dead. And Kenny says,
Look.
I actually think Gravity Falls versus Death Note is very debatable. You know what? Gravity Falls was one of those kid shows that, my son was watching. And all of a sudden I'm just like, this is actually really good. And it's amazing. It's one of those perfect shows where adults can get a lot out of it. And my son just enjoyed it for what it was. It kind of had goofy moments, but it was like a story throughout all the seasons that ended up, and they wrapped it up well. Everything kind of worked out. They, once again, had everything mapped out for the show before they started filming it, so it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd say Gravity Falls is better than Death Note, but I haven't seen all of Death Note yet, but we can compare. Oh, and thing with anime is all the romantic ones are so dodgy. And he put
They are.
Oriomo,
Yeah. Mhm.
Oreimooo. And then Kenny said, why'd you have to mention Oriemo? And then they're laughing about it.
It's
Oriemo
called-
is called My Little
My
Sister
Little
Can't Be This
Sister.
Cute.
Oh yeah. I've heard about that one. Yeah.
Oh, I think I've heard of that. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
There's
there's
it's very incestuous and it's very
yeah.
So
Fan
it's written by
service-y.
George R.R. Martin.
ha ha ha. It's I'm only saying that just based off the title. I'm not saying I've seen anything on it. I've never watched it. I don't have any plans to. But just from the name, it's going to be like situations where the brother gets really close to his sister and he's having an internal monologue and he's like, oh my god, I can't believe she's this close to me. What am I going to do?
Oh my God, yeah, I hate some of the writing in this. It's so
Yeah.
cringy.
Yeah, like it's
Well,
Does she know?
Oh
that I
my
feel
gosh.
This way.
they say that
She
is the
gave me
trash
her
bin
drink.
anime.
Trash
Yeah.
bin it.
The
Oh my
romantic
gosh,
ones are
she gave
awful.
me her drink. It's about to be a second-hand kiss. Oh,
Oh my god, it's disgusting.
And Jacob, welcome to the show here, Jacob. I wish there was one more season of Death Note. Now, just so you know, Jacob,
I don't
two
think
of
they
us
needed
have
to
not
prolong
seen
it.
all of Death Note. We're watching it for the first time. We're up through episode 15. Doug and Sierra have watched it all. But a lot of these, and you know what? Anime, seemingly, and I won't say them all because I know there's like 2,000 episodes of some, but anime, for the most part, seems like they have a story to tell. And when that's done, they're done. They don't, like Cowboy Bebop, they told their story, and they're like, I'm sure they were offered to do more seasons, but they stepped back and said, this is all we want to tell, so we're going to be done with it. It's a lot like British television, where here's what we want to tell. They do 4 seasons, if that's all they have, and then they're done. It's not like American television, where, hey, this is popular, let's keep doing it because we're getting
milk it for
awesome
all it's
ratings.
worth.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
that's how we get season 5 of Stranger Things.
Yep.
Which it's taking forever. Apparently, it's gonna be like a 5-year time jump or something.
Oh my god, all the guys are going to be like have beards and shit. It's going to be in the 90s.
I don't need it. I don't need it. Nobody asked for it. Where they left off doesn't make sense. I honestly feel like when animes end, though, let's say like a short one, like Akame ga Kill, that is my favorite anime. As Death is my favorite character. If you want to know my favorite anime character, that's who she is, As Death. I would recommend you guys watching Akame ga Kill, but it's not on the list. So, but that's a
Is
short
that why your name
anime
is Akame on
on Disney Plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Well-
like them, and I want your opinion on this, Sierra. I'd like them to watch either Erased or Steins Gate.
Erased. I think Erased would be better.
I
Attack
think
on
that's
Titan.
got similar vibes to this.
Monster.
Monster. Oh yeah. I was actually, you know what? I was looking at that too. Maybe I do have some anime I could watch.
Let's see. Oh my god, reading
what?
unfinished manga or watching unfinished anime is so annoying.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Like
horrible.
Berserk. It will never end.
Yeah.
It will never end. It's sad.
What
But,
about a Death
what I
Note
was-
reboot where Light and Misa get their roles reversed?
No. What I was referring to with the Akame ga Kill and back to Death Note was I'm saying more like how Akame ga Kill, it came to a close. It didn't need any more. It didn't need any less. It was the perfect amount of story. I think anime does a good job of that. I don't think most anime, well, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
High School of the Dead needs more. Needs a lot more. And he's not touching it anymore and I don't like it. But like with this anime,
Zom
I feel
100,
like
I think, needed more.
I feel like it ended the way it needs to. You know, I think Cowboy Bebop, that ended the way
Perfect
it needed
ending.
to. It was perfect closing.
Yes.
Some people say they needed more. They don't know
No.
if he's dead. Like, no, come on.
It was perfect the way it ended.
Yeah, so I think with this one, it ended the way it was going to. You know, it kind of, for the anime, it worked out. Like I'm satisfied. You know how a lot of the times you get dissatisfied with the endings of movies, you are to expect like a second one, third one, whatever, right? But whereas with this, specifically me, in my opinion, I think it closed perfectly. You know, for what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I really want, I want them to make Berserk as an anime. And they already have, you know, I think they should just prolong it. They just keep it going. I don't know why they're not keeping it going with the manga. They gave up pretty quickly. But it is very gory, very messed up. It only got so far, though. And the poor guy who was writing it is dead now, so we'll never finish it. Do you know anything about Berserk, or am I like talking to myself?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you don't know anything about it.
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, It's not child friendly.
Okay.
It's very depressing.
Hold on, Sully, we got a new anime to watch.
Yeah. It's very messed up. It's very gory, and it's about the end of the world, kind of.
Okay.
Well, I can't say too much. I'm sorry. I got very excited. I thought you knew about it. I got very excited when I was talking about it.
And Mike says that Monster is really good. Kenny says best villain in any anime. Jacob says Attack on
No, the
Titan's
best villain is
ending was
Griffith.
worst.
No,
We-
it wasn't.
We have not seen Attack on Titan yet. We will be watching that at some point. Well, two of us have. Dave and I have not seen Attack on Titan. Doug and Sierra have.
Oh, dude, I don't get why. I don't get why you think that. I think Attack
No,
on
I thought that was that was what I expected for the ending. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty satisfactory. I was. The only thing I wasn't satisfied about was how they split up the final season 4, and it just was kept going. No, it was actually like six full seasons, and then like 2 movies.
Every
Maybe
time they'd say, "This is the final season of Attack on Titan," it's like,
Like,
you
is
said that
it?
like 2 years ago.
Right. But yeah.
So,
I can't wait. I can't
real
wait for you
quick,
guys
can
to
we
watch
jump
that.
back to Death Note?
Yeah, of course.
Because I have several questions. And I'm going to pose these to our chat, but if you three, fine daddies and ladies have any answers, then by all means. But one of the things, in rewatching these, I'm able to like pay a little bit more attention to the details, and I started noticing some things that felt a bit plot holy, but again, maybe I'm missing something. So at the end of episode 12 or 13, before Light and Misa meet, when Light is sitting in the diner and Misa is like in a booth, almost catty corner to him, sitting there thinking, boy, I can't wait to meet Kira. At that point, we don't see either of their Shinigami. Now, I know in certain very specific circumstances, their Shinigami won't be there with them because they're off doing something else for whatever other reason. But other than that, as far as I know, no matter where they go, if you are a Death Note holder, your Shinigami is following you around. But we didn't see either of them in the diner, and I don't know if that was like an artistic choice or if they just weren't there.
I think it was an artistic choice. I don't see why they wouldn't have been
If they were, if Ryuk was there and if Rem were there. Now, we know Ryuk's personality pretty well. We know that he's just here for the lulz. He's just there to laugh, have a good time. Light is nothing but entertainment to him. He's not Light's friend. He has said multiple times, I'm not going to help you out. I'm not going to tell you, if you're doing anything wrong. I'm just here for the entertainment value. But Rem does seem to have a much different personality to Ryuk. Rem, I feel like she would tell Misa things. She would give her advice. So it makes me wonder, if both Shinigami were there, did Rem see Ryuk and just choose not to tell Misa about it? Or was she not there?
I think it was an artistic choice. I think it's very possible that Rem wasn't there. Because it's funny, I didn't even think of that when they were going on. Because if she would, she had the Shinigami eyes too. If she would have just glanced
That's
at
the other thing,
him,
yeah.
she would have seen that he didn't have an expiration, date or whatever. So, yeah,
right,
I
when
think
she
it was
walked past.
just, yeah, Kenny says he thinks it's an artistic choice too. Yeah. I mean, maybe thinking of it that way, it might have been a little plot holy, but I think they just did it for the aesthetics of it.
I don't know. Anime can be very detail oriented though,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't ever come back to that. They never elaborated on that situation. So that's why it brings me to think that it was an artistic choice, because they would have came back to it, acknowledged it. It would have been like, oh, this is what they did while that was happening, but that never happened. So That's my reasoning. Or did they? You know, who knows? No.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you Deadpool.
What
You
about
gotta find
Deadpool?
out that that came out wrong, or did it? You know.
Oh.
Or did it?
And Kenny says, also, Rem isn't needed because she thinks Misa can see who Kira is anyway because of the eyes, which she can if she looks at him. True. But that was the other thing. Again, they were in the diner together. She walked past Light to go sit down in her booth, and she never noticed. So that was my other question.
Well, isn't it impolite to
Do you
stare at
have
people in a cafe
Excuse
when
me.
walking by them?
What's that?
Isn't it impolite to stare at people when you're walking past them in a cafe in Japanese culture?
I don't think she would have needed to stare, but that's where I get my next question. Do you have to activate the eyes? Do you have to, like, willingly think, I'd like to turn on the eye ability, or is it always on? Like, once you get the Shinigami eyes, are you always seeing everybody's name and lifespan forever, no matter what? Or can you, like, consciously turn it on and off?
Yeah, I
I
would
feel like
imagine
they would have
that.
elaborated too.
Again, yeah, that's
You
I
can't turn it
I
off.
don't think that was in the manga either. So I don't think it wasn't elaborated in the anime or the manga. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
And Mike
I
says
would
maybe there's a
can't turn
secret
it off.
reasoning. Ha ha.
Sure.
And Kenny says she didn't actually look at him though, which I'd have to watch the scene again.
Okay.
And Mike said, "Yeah, it wasn't elaborated."
Yeah. I think they would have if it meant something. It could just be a plot hole. You can't remember everything, maybe?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know. They do a
And
very
I'm
good
not
job of that,
like,
though.
knocking the writers and the artists and everything like that. I mean, you're
Well,
gonna
it
miss
sounds
things.
like you
that
are.
Yeah.
It was just a question that I had that I wanted to pose to all of you and
And
see
we
if you had
appreciate
any
that,
thoughts
sir.
on it.
I think it makes sense to ask the question. I think I would have asked that too, but then considering they didn't elaborate, I would
You
assume
didn't
that it
elaborate.
doesn't mean too much. What?
You didn't elaborate.
Of course I didn't. I don't know things. I don't know
I know.
anything.
I
I
drink
know
and I
it.
know things.
Absolutely.
Jinx, owe me a Coke.
Excuse me.
Mm.
Here, you can drink out of my Coke.
Thanks. I'll take it
But we
all the
even
way
got.
from Nevada.
I really enjoyed when Light was like, "Listen, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna listen to my commands, right? Like, I can't be your boyfriend, but you're gonna do as I say and stuff." And she's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And that's that tape where is denouncing the police, saying trying to make the first Kira look like a pariah, and then Elle's just like, "I think the Kiras have met." And this is why I'm always like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's so awesome."
Oh
That
my
was
gosh.
always
I
right
want to
on.
I want to keep a tally of how many times Light goes, "Damn it! Oh, damn you, L."
I wanted one time to just slip and not keep it as inner monologue. Like, say it all up.
The inner monologue to just become like an outer monologue.
Damn
Now he
you,
knows
Al.
I'm Kira. I'm sorry, what did you just say?
In our thing we did to fool Misa. Wait, how did you know her name? Oh, I mean, I'm out of here.
What?
Anybody else need chocolate?
I mean, I chuckle every time L says, well, I suspect him about 5%. It's like, bro, there's so many like convenient situations. If I was in L's situation and I didn't know anything I didn't know about the Shinigami, I didn't know about the Death Note, even I would be like, seems pretty sus. I don't know. It's like it seems kind of weird that here's another situation that nobody ever they set this whole thing up and then nobody bothered to question what actually happened. And Keith, you kind of touched on it a minute ago when he said L mentioned, I think the Kiras met. Here's the thing that I love about L kind of sneakily doing this and Light never once figured it out. At least he didn't figure it out all the way. But L looks at him and he goes, "And Light, I'd like you to play Kira." And he's like, "Oh, no, I don't know if I'd really feel comfortable doing it, but if I was, here's this entire letter that I wrote that would be..."
Right.
And it's like, so, okay, so that's their plan. They're going to send this letter as if it was written by Kira, send it to this TV station, have it announced. Here's the thing that nobody is saying, and I will give Light's dad the benefit of the doubt because, like, he's like, "Oh, my son couldn't do that. My son would never kill anybody. He would, so he'd be Kira." But everybody else should have been like, something isn't adding up. So they had Light as Kira, pretending to be Kira, send this letter to the TV station. But at no point did the real Kira respond to this, which, if Light was not Kira, if there actually was somebody else out there, you would think that the real Kira would have said, "Hey, don't listen to this fake thing that just got announced on TV," or at the very least, kill more prisoners and leave another note for L. L, this was not me. Also, I need more apples.
See, I look at it as two ways. I think if he wasn't Kira, the real Kira would know what was going on and just stand back and let them look at all these other false things, and he continued to do his job because he's not worried about the police finding other people. But I constantly think that L knows Light is Kira. And,
oh yeah, definitely.
and-
That's why I said I laugh when he says, "Oh, I suspect him 5%." I think deep down he suspects him like 90%. Like, he's like, "This is Kira. There's no two ways about it."
See, I think might be 90, 95, who knows? But he's like,
Yeah.
I have no proof. And he knows he needs proof before he can actually, come forward with it. As a good detective, he knows you can't just say, "Hey, you're Kira," and try to put it together. He's like, "I'm going to keep this guy close to me because I'm positive he's Kira until he slips up."
Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, type of thing.
I like how he frames it to the other detectives. He's all like, "Well, I'd really like to bring Light in on this because of his deductive reasoning skills. Yes, that's why. Not that he's actually secretly Kira and I can use his knowledge of the killing situation to find this second Kira."
Just remember, make your enemies rich and your friends rich and see which ones are real. That was
You
Ultron
froze
from
while you
Age
were
of
trying to
Ultron.
say that.
Ah!
Yeah, you froze, yeah.
Make your enemies rich and make your friends rich and find out which ones are real.
Which
That
is
was
which?
Age of Ultron. Yeah, which is which. Yeah, whatever. Whatever! Oh, and Kenny says whenever L says 5%, he means 95%, by the way. At least that's what the author said.
Okay, cool. That does make a lot more sense because there's too many things that it's like it points to. There are so many moments where I'm like, "Oh, Light, you fucked up, right?"
Well, in the fact,
It
to
seems
jump.
like-
Go ahead, Dave.
Well, it seems like Light is the one reacting to everything. He
Oh
doesn't-
yeah.
And L is definitely in control. L is definitely smarter. And Light just reacts to everything. Oh, either that or that's the only perspective we are seeing. But from what we're seeing, everything is reaction, and you can't win if you're reacting. You have to be proactive. And even when he tries to be proactive, it's like L knows exactly what happened.
No, I think you're
I
actually
mean-
right, Dave, because if you remember back in some of the earlier episodes, when every time L would figure something out about Kira, he'd be like, "Okay, well, I figured out that Kira is in the Kanto region, and I also know that he's probably a Japanese student because he's only killing people from this time to this time, which would be, after somebody gets out of high school." So, and then in response, almost like it was just out of pure spite or something, Light reacts, as you just said. Light reacts and he's like, "Okay, fine. Then I'm going to start killing at 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. And also I'm going to kill in the USA and in this area and in Germany or whatever." And And it's like it's always in response. You're right, and I think he's been behind ever since L took the case. I think Light has been behind, and he's trying to play catch up, but he's not doing so.
But I wouldn't
now
say
that I'm
L
think-
is smarter than Light. I would say L is more seasoned at doing detective work than Kira is at, murdering mass amounts of people.
At murdering people with a magic notebook, right?
What were you
It's
gonna
my
say?
first day.
I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Oh man, you got Keith's disease.
Oh no, I remember. No brain fart today.
That's Keith's disease, brain farts.
It's Keith's disease. I got it again. I think Al was saying some certain things to see if he could trigger a reaction out of Light. He was definitely like saying, he's like, oh, I know this about Akira for sure, right? And then he's just testing him. Even if it's BS, he's like testing him to see how he moves forward. And yeah, I think L knew, like,
The whole cell phone thing,
mm,
that was, I'll use the younger vernacular, that was dope.
that was dope. L is my favorite character, honestly, throughout that whole show.
The way he played it off, like he was a big
Pretty
fan
awesome.
of Misa's.
Oh
And all
yeah.
that played out, I was like, wow. Does he
Somebody
really like
touched
her?
me.
And then
Yeah.
I'm gonna call her on this second phone that he doesn't know I have.
And I like how he holds it too. Oh,
Yeah.
weird.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha.
All they had to do was survey him for like a day, and he wouldn't have noticed, and they probably would have got him. Honestly.
Oh, he had Ryuk on reconnaissance. He always knew.
Reconnaissance.
Yeah, Ryuk was on reconnaissance. Yeah, because that was going to be helpful.
Well, and that was think about it. L reacted the most, I don't know what word I'm looking for here, but the least in control when Shinigami was mentioned, because that is something he cannot understand, control, or do anything about. Where everything else, clues and working, people's psychology, he is down to a T. But as soon as you introduce that supernatural to it, he wigged out, to put it in a youthful vernacular. I don't know if kids are still using that at all.
I don't think so.
Dang it.
Wigged out. I say it.
Sweet.
I don't know if anyone else
He
says
was tweaking.
No. He said
Tweaking.
he said youthful vernacular, the young people, Sierra.
Well, excuse me, I'm only 25. I'm not even 30.
Let's see. The funniest scene is when L excitedly goes, "Hey, Light," and then immediately frowns and drops down when he says, "How's it going?" Yeah, L literally has everything against him.
Oh yeah.
And that's, that's the one thing, like I was talking about. He knows so much that's going on, and kind of right person that would do this thing. He just doesn't know how he's murdering. He has no idea it's a magical, notebook, as Doug put it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, is it supernatural powers? What the hell is going on here? That's got to freak him out. And, Elle's got to figure this out soon, because he's going to go into a diabetic coma at some point in the next few episodes with how much sweets he eats. Good God. He is just constantly eating candy and cake.
Light
That's
doesn't
his
even
thing. That's his jam.
Light doesn't even need to write his name in the notebook. He just needs to wait.
Wait it out. He's
If
almost
Wait
done.
it out.
he was smart, finds it when he finds out his name, write it down, diabetic coma death, and they would be like, how did we not see that coming?
Oh yeah, no, there's no way that was the notebook.
So what does it mean that he's got two notebooks? What does that mean now? Because at the end of the episode he says, Ryuk, this is the end for us. What does all that mean? I know you know the answer, but
Yeah, and I'm not going to tell you, because you just have to see the next couple of. Like I said, it's about to go down. Things are about. The anime writers and artists are about to just slam that foot down on the gas pedal. It is about to get nuts. even more nuts.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Just keep just keep in mind that he is a high school kid though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
He's not anymore.
He reacts like a high school kid.
He graduated.
And to answer Kenny's question, he says, "Do you guys think Light would have grown up as a bad person without the Death Note?" No. No, because the Death Note, I think, is distracting him enough where he's basically shut off interacting with the rest of the world completely. I think if he would have never found the Death Note, if he would have never met Ryuk, I think he would have gone to college, he would have studied, he would have eventually become a police officer. He probably would have been one of those police officers who shut off their body cam every now and again, but overall, I don't think he would have gone on a murder spree.
I think I agree with most of what you're saying, except for I think he would be a bad person and I think he'd be a narcissist. I think he would grow up.
He was already a narcissist, I think.
Yeah.
Because as many times as he commented to Ryuk, he goes, I am very popular with the girls. And it seems like even before he found the notebook, he just he was very nonchalant about like, oh, hey, Light, you want to go on a date? Not really.
Yeah. So I think he would be a bad person based off of who he was beforehand. He was already narcissistic.
Yeah.
And then he's arrogant.
Okay, yes. By normal human standards, he would have been a bad person, but he would not have been
evil.
Kira bad.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have gone out to be a Kira.
He
might love humanity, but that doesn't mean, he's a good person. He would do things to keep people away from him, probably because he loved them. I'm responding to Kenny. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But to answer Dave's question, as someone who hasn't
Mm-hmm.
seen past episode 15, I think he is going to start using Rem's notebook, Rem's Death Note, because he knows Ryuk doesn't want to help him, won't do anything to help him. But he thinks he can use Rem's love of Misa and Misa's love of him to get things done. He thinks he can use that to kind of get things he wants out of the Shinigami, where it wouldn't work with Ryuk. And I think that's why I hope we see Ryuk some more, but I have a feeling that he thinks, and it's not going to work out the way he wants it to, in my opinion, but he thinks he would have more control over Rem because of Misa's feelings for him.
That is the one thing in Light's favor. That's the one thing that he has that L can't possibly perceive or compete with, is Light's knowledge of the Death Note and the Shinigami. And we've seen from, time and time again that Light is willing to experiment with the Death Notes and the Shinigami to the point where, like I said, multiple times, like Ryuk even says, I didn't know that. I didn't know that's how... I didn't know you could just tear a piece out and use just a part of the Death Note. Or I didn't know that you could write in, how the person died before you entered in the name. Like, there's so many things that Light is doing. And so it's in his advantage. It's advantageous to him that he knows all of this stuff about the Death Note, and that he knows that Rem, who's already stated, if you put Misa in danger, I will write your name in the Death Note. So he already knows anyone who puts Misa in danger, Rem will come after them. So he's already got like a loaded gun ready to go whenever he needs it.
And it's almost like he's planning on killing Rem with that knowledge somehow. I don't know how he's going to do it.
And he wouldn't care.
Yeah, not care at all. And, Mike makes a good point. He said Light would have been a good person, I think, given all he wants to do before the Death Note is contribute to society by catching criminals and helping people while being a narcissist. True. He would have been, I think, like Doug and Sierra said, not a great friend or a person per se, but he would have been an excellent detective. He would have been very good at police work because of his, deductive reasoning, as Al likes to say.
I could get where you're getting at, where his intentions have been pure so far. He just wants to get rid of all the criminals. I could see where he might be a good person before the book. I could see that.
At the same time, he would also be that cop that writes you a ticket for going 1 mile over, too.
I mean, he's got to do his job,
And he seems like the type
Come
of cop
on, man.
that would
Can't you,
type of cop who would plant evidence.
Yes.
He's like, I know you're
Yeah,
guilty,
can
but
see
I
him
can't
doing
prove
that
it, so I'm going to
too.
plant some stuff on you.
Right.
Oh, what is this that I found? Huh, a little baggie in your trunk.
No,
What?
Japanese cops are a little bit different than American cops, though. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah, you're right. Light would definitely be more of an American cop.
Yeah.
USA! Oh, wait a minute.
Oh.
Reverse.
Yeah.
Reverse Uno card.
Oh no, Keith, I just watched you on YouTube.
You just watched me on YouTube?
You just did
Oh,
this.
no. No, I did
Yeah.
that. USA. Now I'm doing it again.
Oh God.
Keith, you're
Oh,
gonna
That
have
is
to edit
forever
the
going to be on the
video.
internet now. You're welcome.
Oh no, I watched it happen too.
Hey, just so
Gee.
is it worse than my fire extinguisher picture?
It's on par with it.
Okay. For those of you out in the audience, if you Google, I'm here to extinguish your burning loins, you will see a 17-year-old Keith holding a fire extinguisher looking scared. Thank you very much.
What?
I'm here all the week.
Sierra, I've shown it to you, but go ahead and look it up.
I'm looking it up. What is it?
I'm
I'm-
here to extinguish your burning loins.
I have a long pink tie on. I have hair.
And a fire extinguisher.
Yep.
Oh
Very good.
God.
He is a
Let's
meme.
take so long to type that in.
Oh, this
Oh my
makes
God, I see it. How? Harold the Hose? This isn't you.
That's him.
well. There's other pictures that aren't me, but usually the first one that pops up is me.
Mm-hmm.
It says, and
Guys,
Mike says,
England, go ahead and look that up.
the author actually says he made Light pure and good without the death note to show how much it can corrupt anyone. So yeah, I don't think he would have been that bad personally.
Okay.
I
get
would
that.
love to see like a Death Note what if though.
Yeah.
Because I'd be curious about if, you know, like certain things had changed, if there were different situations that drove Light to make different choices. Like, what if he didn't, kill Lindell Taylor? Or what if L never got involved? Or what if he took the Shinigami ideal?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Keith, how did this happen?
She's totally disconnected
Yeah.
from it. She just wants to
I'm
know how
so
you're a meme.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm so-
Kenny said, "What are you
I
holding?
saw it too.
You only use it when you need to." That is a fire extinguisher. I'll tell. When I went to get my senior pictures, they weren't digital, as they are now. And the guy was like, we took the normal ones, and he goes, "You want to have some fun?" And me, I'm like, "Yes, of course I do." And he goes, "Pick up
course you
that
do.
fire extinguisher, and hold it and act like you're putting out a fire." So I'm like, "Cool, sweet." And we got proofs back in the day. So there was a picture of me holding that fire extinguisher in my mom's basement somewhere. And I've been in the same fantasy football league for like 30 years, since the 90s. We used to do scoring out of a newspaper. And one of the guys I'm in the league with grew up 3 houses down from me. So he had seen the picture before he knew about it. So one year he called my sister and said, "Hey, can you go to your mom's house, find that picture of Keith holding the fire extinguisher, and scan it and send it to me?" And then he made it his fantasy football team's picture for our website. And of course it was weird because he's like, "Did you log into the website yet?" I'm like, "No, dude, the draft's later tonight." He goes, "Oh, you should log in and change your name." And I'm like, "Why are you wanting me to log in so bad?" And finally I did, and I saw that picture, and I'm just like, but then
I like that. Did you know, Keith, you don't even need to put in the full thing. All you need to put in is, "I'm here to extinguish," and it still comes up.
I figured as much.
Top entry.
But then
top
it was
of Google.
funny because I would show people that picture all the time. I had my own, obvious copy of it. And one of the guys I worked with at a job, when he saw it, he's like, "Listen, can I put that on Awkward Family Photos?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't care." So he ended up putting it up on Awkward Family Photos. And it took, no joke, 6 months for it to appear on the site. I don't know what they were doing. But all of a sudden one day, it just appeared. And people are like, "Did you know you're on?" I'm like, "Oh, it finally appeared," and like people were making comments. Someone posted my actual yearbook photo and said, "My mom went to school with this guy, and here's proof from her yearbook," and it showed me.
I just found something that
That's
I don't even know if
hilarious.
you knew, Keith.
What's that?
So you know how some of these memes from about 10 years ago, they gave them all names, like, you know, the Gers Burrs girl or whatever, and like they gave them all different names, like a depressed Danny or whatever. You are Harold the Hose,
Here.
according to
That's what Sierra
Reddit.
just said.
That is your meme name. You are Harold the Hose.
Harold
you
the
guys do it-
Hose. That's him. He's Harold the Hose.
ifunny.co is I put the link in the chat. It pops up on their iFunny webpage.
Somebody asks, why is his tie so long? And the response is so bitches can latch on to it while he walks away.
Harold gets them hoes.
Oh, that's good.
Harold's got Riz.
Oh my gosh.
So, I am a famous meme.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently so.
Oh, this is beautiful. I didn't even know that you had like a meme name. I knew you were a meme. I didn't know that it was this widespread. His pants are just that high.
Ronald McFondled.
Oh my god. Oh, this is great.
So, Kevin, if you're out there watching, thank you once again for getting this picture scanned and on the internet for everyone to enjoy.
That's awesome. That's
Oh,
awesome.
that is.
I'm gonna send that to all of my friends. I'm gonna send that to my Discord.
So when are you going to recreate it?
Just so you know, my nephew that started Michigan this year recreated it with his senior pictures. My
Nice.
daughter has said she wants to do it when she does her senior pictures. And Sully, who you saw a little while ago when he was done playing his MetaQuest, said he's going to do it too.
So
Nice.
you're going to have a big old Harold the Hose family.
Yep. And I'll still never
Tradition.
forget, my brother and sister-in-law who live in Chicago had that picture on their fridge. And they were like having a party, a birthday party. And I think it was my brother-in-law's brother-in-law was like looking at it. And he's like, "Who is that?" And I'm like, "That's me." He goes, no, it isn't. And Jay's like, "It really isn't." Oh, make
Oh my
a
God,
new
this is
meme.
hilarious.
Yeah,
I think you should.
I will do my best.
Look above that. The discussion if Light was a YouTuber.
How many subs would he have? Loads, plenty. He'd have like 10 million first week. He'd bring out
Oh.
the Death Note and start writing down usernames to delete YouTube accounts who don't sub.
You know those
Screen-
YouTubers that show
Screen crush.
you know those YouTubers that show that like graph. It's like half of you who watch my videos aren't subscribed. Light would be like, half of you used to not be subscribed to life.
To life.
You would need to know what they look like.
Well, to finish off maybe this conversation outside of our tangent time with, 17-year-old Keith, I found it very depressing a bit, a tad, if you will, when she relinquished her Death Note. That really showed, how much she really did care for Light and Kira. Like, it's like, really the only way out of this is to relinquish your Death Note so you forget about all of this. And she really doesn't hesitate at all. She was like, "Yes, I'll do it," or whatever. And obviously Rem saying, "You better save her. You got to save her," or whatever. Saving her may have different meanings to Light and to Rem. So it'll be interesting to see how that whole thing plays out. I was a little worried we weren't going to see Misa again until how episode 15 ended. I'm like, okay, she's going to be back.
Don't say anything, Sierra.
I'm not saying anything. I was going to. This is why I don't talk until like that last when you guys are done. because throughout while you guys are talking about it, speculating and everything, I'm like, yeah, sure. Like I want
Well,
to
you know,
tell, but I
we're
can't.
always right.
You're
So no
always
matter what
right.
we're
Yeah.
always right.
I didn't like
wanna
the way
talk,
you
but
said
I can't.
you're always right. Yeah. Are you implying that
Yeah.
something we've said is incorrect?
So,
I mean,
on that note,
uh-huh.
on that note, do you gentlemen have any theories about what you think is going to happen next? And I will neither confirm nor deny any of them.
It's really hard to figure out where the writing is going because I never would have guessed in a million years a second Kira or a copycat Kira showing up to throw chaos into Light's life. So I don't know how it's going to go from here. I do think that he's going to try to use Rem to get his way more so than he could with Ryuk. But I don't know. Like once again, we've got like 20 episodes left, and so much has happened in the first 15. I can't even fathom where the show is going to go. It's like I can't even start trying to put things together because there's just too much left, and so much has happened already. I try to think, and then my mind just thinks of jelly beans and flavor stuff, flavor ice or something. I can't put it together. But I think wackiness is going to abound.
Yeah, I too, I'm with them because I have no idea what the end game is. Is the end game of this show going to be where he reaches his utopia? I don't think they get that far, especially in 37 episodes. But so I can't really predict where it's going. I'm still playing catch up. I don't see L's little tests coming, and I don't know which direction they're going with it. But I do like following.
The
Sorry,
only
you
thing
like
I'll
what?
predict, I don't think Light or L are alive at the end of the show. That's about the only thing that I feel pretty certain about. It's almost like Dexter, that he shouldn't have lived at the end of that.
No, he shouldn't have. It doesn't make sense.
Well,
That's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out.
Technically, he didn't, but they had to make an extra season like 3 years down the road.
Once again, American television. And this show's really popular. Let's not do what should be done. Let's continue it. Let's jump the shark.
Well,
beat
I
a
do
dead
have
horse.
some news for you. Speaking of American television and milking things until it is dead and then still continuing to try and harvest it for what's left.
Is this about Ted
So
Lasso?
Sierra and I told you about the, what was it, 2016 or 2017 Death Note live action movie, the Americanized version.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the original plan was that they were going to make a sequel from that. I don't think that's going to happen anymore, but in a weird twist, because Netflix is pulling a Sony and they don't want to lose the license, they brought in the Duffer Brothers of
From
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things? Oh, boy.
And they are going to make their own live action Death Note series, not based on the Americanized movie.
Based on the anime.
Apparently, not even based on the anime. It's going to be based strictly on the manga.
Manga.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, that'll be a longer runtime. I would
At least
say.
that's what they've said. This was originally announced in 2022, and they've got a lot of other projects that they're finishing up, so there hasn't really been any, headway on it, or like there's been like little bits of information every now and again. They get interviewed and people ask them, so where are you at on it? Well, we've got a lot of projects we're working on. We're finishing up Stranger Things, but it's definitely, we will be doing it. So it has been confirmed that, they are still doing it. It's just they haven't really gotten anywhere with it yet.
Huh. I hope
Other than, I guess they've gotten an outline, and that's about as far as they've gotten.
I hope they do a good job of.
I hope they don't, honestly.
Well, if they're doing it based on the manga, I hope it's a little more in depth. I hope, it just doesn't redo the animated show like, the Lion King live action where it was like scene for scene the exact same thing from, if you're gonna do something again, switch it up, add some things. Maybe we see him struggling with the first person he killed a little bit more, and then slowly build into the Kira that we've been getting to in the show. So I mean, I don't have high hopes for it, but best case scenario, they do a good job of changing some things from the anime to better fit the manga, to have it a little more.
The only
deep.
thing that I'm concerned about is I truly do wonder if they are being American writers and directors. I wonder if they're still going to Americanize it to a point, or are they going to set it in Japan with Japanese actors? That's what I'm wondering.
Oh, that's a good point.
I hope it would be. Hold on, I'm showing Paul. That's Keith.
Oh God.
Oh, she
The key
can't
theme.
get enough of this meme.
I think he actually. Oh, was that you who posted it in the Twitch chat?
Yeah.
That was the tall guy.
Well,
the one who
NYSQ
did
did
that.
too.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was me. I did it on his behalf.
Excellent, excellent. That's why I thought he had seen it already, because I thought he had posted it.
Yeah.
They call
And
them
Mike
arrows.
says that might actually be interesting. Once again, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt that they want to make the best, piece of, best art possible when they're doing this. And while
You'd
I
hope.
think Stranger Things has sputtered in the last couple seasons, first 2 seasons was pretty good. It was interesting and I enjoyed it. I think it has definitely went too far. In season 5 coming out next year, like Doug said, they're going to be like all adults. It's going to be like chapter 2 of It, when they're all adults now after they were kids. But just like The Simpsons doing a great parody of Death Note that we saw from Treehouse of Terror, maybe these guys really love it and they're going to do a quality job of adapting it. Hopefully.
You know who I would love to see actually adapt it, and I think would do an impeccable job?
No.
Mike Flanagan.
Who's Mike
The
Flanagan?
pitcher for the Orioles? 1980? 25
Dude,
wins?
you know I don't know sports. Why would you even ask for that? No, the guy who made Doctor
You cut
Sleep,
me up.
and he also
Ooh.
he's doing a lot of those Stephen King adaptations.
Dr. Sleep.
So he did
was
Dr.
really
Sleep,
good.
he did Gerald's
Midnight
Game.
Mass. Midnight Mass.
Yes, he did. Yep,
Good
Midnight Mass. That guy. I think he would do a phenomenal job if anybody was to adapt and make another live action Death Note. I would get that guy.
I would get that guy. If you guys haven't seen, I highly recommend you see the Fall of the House of Usher.
I love it. It's good.
That was really, really
Mhm.
that one was really good. It definitely bamboozled me, I can say. But I kind of figured it out towards the middle end. But anyway, I think if you guys want some proof that he's good at what he does, there you go. Watch that on Netflix.
It was the Fall of the House of Usher.
Yeah. It's so good. And I love that actress, the one who played in Spy Kids. He uses her a lot.
Carla Giugio.
Yeah. Gugino.
She was in Sucker Punch.
Yeah, she was. I think she's awesome.
I like Dr. Sleep a lot. He did a really good job with that.
I liked it too.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to watch the Fall of the House of Usher and Midnight Mass. I've heard a lot of good things about Midnight Mass. But
both
It was so good. It
my
was
wife
really
will not
good.
watch horror, so it's one of those things that I have to watch when everyone is asleep.
Midnight Mass was another one that, to me, it had a bit of an unpredictable ending, but I still loved the way they did it, and I wouldn't have it
was
any other way.
Yeah. I think also Haunting of Hell House, Haunting
Oh,
of Bly Manor,
Oh
all
my
of
gosh.
those.
D-
Those are
I
Halloween shows.
I think I prefer Hill House over Bly Manor, but they're both good.
Just so you know, Mike
No,
said,
yeah, I get
I
that.
think Doug McClain would do a really good job. He should adapt it. Maybe
Oh.
get Keith as well. What
Okay,
would you
you
do?
do not want us to try and adapt anything. I would knock the camera over, and then Keith would forget to turn the microphone on, and we'd film the entire movie that way.
Why is
Valid.
this like a Charlie Chaplin film?
Right. Boy, there's a lot of Dutch angles. Yes, that was on purpose.
You're like, this is actually the worst adaptation I've ever seen.
And Kenny asked, what would you do with the Death Note?
Oh, what would I do? If I
know
knew,
what I would do,
if I saw it
but I'm
laying
not
on the
gonna-
ground and I
I'm not gonna
already
say.
knew it was a Death Note, I would probably pick it up, but then I wouldn't use it. I would pick it up so nobody else would get their hands on it because I would know what it could do. If I didn't know anything about Death Notes, I would probably still pick it up and be like, yay, free notebook. But then I would probably poop myself in terror at seeing Ryuk.
I would be writing like D&D character names in it. And
Oh
be
no!
like, why do my guys die in the campaign all the time?
Right. Why do we keep rolling that once?
I would probably, me personally, I'd probably go Doug's route where I wouldn't want anyone to touch it, but then I feel like certain political movements would happen where it'd make me angry. And so
Oh,
then I'd
no.
be like, this is for the better. This is for us. This is for the greater good. I have to. And then I
Oh.
Don't point out which political preference you choose either, because that could.
Now-
no, that's not.
No,
You want
no,
to.
I'm
you
not.
don't
were,
want
I'm not.
Sierra,
Yeah.
if you were to write names in there, would you be like Light and just be like everybody gets a heart attack, or would you actually kind of switch it up a bit?
It would really just depend on who it was, what the crime was, why I felt